Hi there. This short video is intended as a resource to assist you in revising your discourse community analysis. And before we do that, just a reminder that the final draft of this assignment will be due this coming Sunday night by way of the Dropbox. And make sure you're using the correct Dropbox for the final draft. What we're going to do here is to go through these 7 pointers in terms of things to keep in mind as you are revising your assignment for your final draft. Now, those of you who have had the benefit of the writing workshop this week will have already seen a version of this, but hopefully it will still be helpful to you. So point number 1 is the research and analysis section. And what I have been stressing all the way along is that I believe this is the most important part of the assignment. What we're looking for in this section is for you to have chosen 3 or 4 of the characteristics from John Swales that apply to communications. And for each of those characteristics that you have chosen, you are defining how he describes that characteristic. You are citing John Swales. Then you are bringing in something specific from your secondary research that goes along and supports or illustrates that characteristic. And you are also citing that source of information. So in other words, if you're doing this section correctly, you really should have the equivalent of about 3 paragraphs, one for each of the characteristics from John Swales that you are discussing. And each of those paragraphs should be citing both John Swales and your secondary research. Point number 2 here is just to make sure that your use of secondary sources, your research, is correctly cited and documented. So we're looking at correct citation format for secondary sources. The main reminder here is that when you quote a source directly, your citation must include the name of the author, the year, and also the paragraph page number. And that also, if you are paraphrasing source information, that you are putting it in your own words and you are also citing it. This folds into point number 3. We're also looking for correct APA format for the references list at the end of the assignment. Point number 4, looking at quotations and paraphrasing. In the instructions for this assignment, we are looking for you to do both, to both paraphrase source information and also to quote. What we're looking for in your use of quotations is for you to integrate quotations grammatically into your own sentence. If you are paraphrasing information from secondary research, it's very important that you are putting the ideas into your own words. Point number 5 is just a reminder to proofread for mechanical errors. And by that we mean things like punctuation. And the most common punctuation error is not using commas where they should be used in sentences. Another common mechanical error would be what we call sound-alike spelling errors. And those are words that sound the same but have different meanings, like there, and there. Or it's with an apostrophe versus it's without an apostrophe. Point 6 refers to tone, and by tone we mean a spectrum of how formal or informal your assignment is. And we are looking for something more on the formal side here, and that means that we don't have any sentences that end in exclamation marks the same way that we text. Point number 7 refers to the use of AI. Yet another reminder that the use of AI is prohibited. And if I have any suspicions at all about the use of AI on your draft for the writing workshop, I will be indicating that to you. and then I will be doing a more formal check for AI on the final draft. So best not to be using it. The last thing we want to cover here is just a little bit of an explanation of the Turnitin report that you receive when you submit any assignment to the Dropbox. What you're looking at here is a screenshot from a student assignment that shows you a very typical Turnitin analysis. So what Turnitin does is that it highlights any blocks of text, so sentences or parts of sentences that it has found to be taken word for word from published sources. And this is a really good check for you on how careful you are being with the use of secondary research material. So if we take a look at the block of text that is highlighted in blue here, and it's also indicated by the number 4, we're seeing something that shouldn't cause the writer any concern at all, because you can see that the quotation is solidly highlighted. And that really basically means that the person has properly copied and pasted the quotation. So that's fine. Something that we would be concerned about is the first highlighted block of text in the same paragraph that is indicated by the number 6 and is highlighted in gray, because that is indicating that this person has copied and pasted some significant blocks of text from a particular source without using any quotation marks and without citing that source. So that technically speaking, if somebody was taking a very narrow definition of this, that would be defined as plagiarism. So the Turnitin report is something that is for me, your professor, to check on how you've used your sources, but it also is an extremely valuable tool for you. And just to clear up any misconceptions, Turnitin does not have any filter for AI. So it is only basically indicating the use of sources or the misuse of sources in the case of plagiarism. The last thing we want to stress about Turnitin is that the percentage on the Turnitin report is only indicating the percentage of the total text of your assignment that is highlighted by Turnitin. But the percentage otherwise is pretty well meaningless, and there is nothing at all to be gained from trying to make your percentage lower. So on that note, well, what we're going to end this video clip on is back to the list of the checklist for the final draft, so that if you wish, you can pause this video or take a screenshot of it, and you can use this for your revisions. And by the way, good luck on your revisions toward your final draft.